Hello and welcome back to the channel. So we are talking about schools today. How do we know where to go? Where do we go? And I'm going to break that down for you today, right here. We are talking about the top 5 best school ISDs in the DFW area. And I'm actually gonna give you the last 5 at the very end of this video, so definitely stick around for the full list of the top 10 ISDs in DFW. Now, I'm gonna be breaking down these rankings on 4 things. So number 1, I'm gonna tell you how big this ISD is. So how many schools is it serving and how many students is it serving? Number 2, we're gonna break down where this ISD is serving. So what cities, what suburbs, where are they in general to the DFW area? Number 3, I'm gonna talk to you about what this school in general is known for. And then number 4, I'm gonna give you some prices of some homes in the area. So how much is it gonna cost you as far as a home to get into one of these great ISDs? And all of this data that I'm talking to you about, this list is from niche.com. So niche.com does a great job of ranking school ISDs. They have a lot of different metrics that they use to do this. So I will link down below the sources that they use to give you these amazing school ratings, and you can look into that yourself. So number 1 on this list of the top 5 DFW ISDs is Capel ISD. So Capel Independent School District contains about 11 schools and serves over 8,300 students. Now, Capel ISD serves mainly Southlake, but it does serve areas like Westlake and Grapevine. You've got a small little pocket in Grapevine that serves Capel ISD, so just good to know because the average price point in Grapevine is going to be a lot lower than Southlake and Westlake. So Capel ISD ranks in one of the top DFW ISDs, but it also ranks in the top amongst Texas ISDs. And in fact, it is the number 1 ranked ISD for sports in all of Texas. So this is huge. If you have got a football player in your household, if you have kiddos that are very interested in sports, then Southlake ISD, well, Capel ISD, is gonna be the one that you want to look at. Home prices in this area are gonna range from about $600,000 all the way up to $10+ million. And that may be some sticker shock for you, but I'll tell you, Southlake and Westlake are known for having really big houses, really big lots. You just have a, in general, higher average price point here. So Southlake average price point as of July 2024 is about $1.7 million. Grapevine is about $613,000 and Westlake is $3.15 million. So as you can see, the average price point in Southlake and Westlake is going to be higher. So if you are wanting to get into Capel ISD, but you don't necessarily have an average price point of $1 million or $3 million, then Grapevine is going to be a great place for you to look. Now, when we search for homes, this is just in general and for the rest of this video, when we search for homes in general, homes are going to be given a specific ISD. So it's really hard to change out those ISDs, to change out those different schools, which is why I love greatschools.org to check the specific ratings on the specific schools that you are zoned for. So there's a very small section of Grapevine that is going to be zoned to Capel ISD. So if that's something that you want to look for, be sure to tell your realtor up front, like, hey, I'm interested in Grapevine, but I want my kid to be zoned to Capel ISD. So your realtor knows to do some extra research when you're looking at these properties to make sure you are going to be in that school district. Now, number 2 on this list is a neighbor to Capel ISD, and it's Grapevine Colleyville ISD. Now, this is a really great one as well. My boyfriend actually grew up in Grapevine, and he went to Grapevine Colleyville ISD, so I was asking him all the dirty details about what that was like. He loved it. He said sports were a huge thing there. They played a lot of times Capel ISD, so anytime they were playing Capel ISD, it was a big deal. Big into the football, big into all the sports in general. He said soccer was not a huge thing in Texas, but football for sure. So if that's something you're interested in, a lot of these on this list are going to be very big in the sports world, with the exception of a couple, so we'll get into those. So Grapevine Colleyville ISD contains about 21 schools and serves over 14,000 students. You're really, really close to Southlake here, and you are very close to the DFW airport. And Grapevine is a very cute town. I've actually done a separate video on Grapevine, so you'll definitely have to check that one out. I'm obsessed with Grapevine. I think it's so adorable. It's a lot quieter than some of the other areas in DFW, so if that's something you're interested in, it's got a great school district, great little spot, and you're close to the airport, so I'm sure that's checking some of your boxes. Grapevine could be a great spot for you to look. Grapevine and Colleyville tend to be a little bit more expensive, so we are not talking the level of Southlake and Westlake, but their average price point is on up there. Grapevine has an average price point of $613,000, Colleyville is $862,000, and then Euless is $365,000. So the majority of Grapevine Colleyville ISD is going to serve Grapevine and Colleyville, but there's a very small little section over by the airport that is a part of Euless. And as you can tell, Euless does have a lower price point, a more affordable price point. So again, if you're wanting to get into this great ISD, you want your kids to go to get into these sports, then you can still do it with a very affordable price point around Euless. I would say the average price point in general you're gonna be looking at here is probably around $400,000 in this little Euless area, all the way up to $4 million in areas like Colleyville. Number 3 on this list is Allen ISD. Now I have done a separate video on Allen, so again, if you're interested, go check that out. But Allen Independent School District contains about 25 schools and serves over 21,000 students. So it is smaller than Frisco. It's one of the biggest ones we've covered so far, but it's smaller than Frisco ISD, which is about 66,000 students, smaller than Dallas, which is about 140,000 students, and the biggest in the state is Houston, which serves over 180,000 students. So those are some really massive ISDs. So I say all of that just to kind of give you some perspective. This is the biggest we've covered on this list so far, but by no means is it the biggest in Texas. Allen is known for having one mega high school. So it is a very large district and it has one mega high school. So a lot of these districts have several. Allen just has one. So it is very competitive, I'll tell you, with academics and athletics. So, you know, you could be a big fish in a small pond somewhere else. At Allen, you are going to be a small fish in a very big pond. So that's kind of how you're gonna rank up. So I think it's really important to tell parents this. And I tell all my clients who are moving to Allen ISD, like, hey, if your kid's really great in sports, he's gonna do great, she's gonna do great in Allen, but just know there's gonna be a lot of competition because you got a huge high school. You got a lot of kids to compete with. So I wanna make sure they're really good and maybe one of the best. And Allen is also the largest high school in the entire state of Texas. So it is literally the biggest high school in all of Texas. Allen ISD also ranks as the #1 school district in Collin County. This school district serves Allen, a very small corner of Parker and McKinney, but to be honest, it is mostly Allen. I would say prices range here between about $300,000 to $1.8 million. Allen is such a great suburb. You're right along 75, so you're closer to the east side of the Metroplex, and you don't necessarily have to take tolls if you don't want to, you know? But Allen is so awesome because you've got a wide price range. Like you can find something for under $400,000 and you can find something all the way up to $1.8 million. That's going to be a beautiful big home. You also have some good shopping in Allen. You've got the Allen Outlets Mall, which I love. They've got a West Elm outlet there, if you didn't know. And then you also have Waters Creek, which is just a really cute like outdoor shopping center. They got good restaurants over there. So in general, Allen is a really, really great suburb. And clearly they've got a great ISD. Number 4 on this list is Capel ISD. Capel is very, very close to the airport. You're in a great central spot in DFW because you're a quick drive to Dallas, you're a quick drive to Fort Worth, you're a little north of both, but you are probably right in the middle of the two. So you're sitting very close to the DFW airport. Capel Independent School District contains about 16 schools and serves just over 13,000 students. This school, this ISD in general, is very, very competitive with the academics. They're not as much known for their athletics. They probably have some good programs, but not specifically like a Southlake or Grapevine Colleyville or even an Allen. Like all 3 of those schools are known for their athletics. I would say Capel ISD is known for their academics. So academically, they are very, very competitive. They've got really, really great academic programs here. Capel ISD serves mostly Capel and a very small little section of Irving. So home prices here range between the $400,000 to $1.5 million. Now, again, on average, Capel is going to be around $657,000 as the average price point. Irving is gonna be a little bit lower, so that $370,000 mark. So again, you don't have to have a huge budget to be in one of these great ISDs. You can really be a range. You just have to be very strategic on where you're gonna be. Like somewhere like Capel is going to be a little bit more expensive. So if you're really wanting to get into this ISD, again, tell your realtor, be strategic on where you end up. You could be in Irving, zone 2 Capel ISD, paying a little bit less, but getting into a great school district. So there are ways to kind of go through the back door here. Just be very transparent with your realtor so she or he can help you out with this. Last but not least, number 5 on this list is going to be Lovejoy ISD. Now, one of the things that I really like about Lovejoy is that it is smaller. So you are serving about 5 schools with just over 4,300 students. So it's definitely a smaller district, but it's very popular. It's very highly rated. I guess you could call it small but mighty. So this is a really good one as well. This serves mainly Lucas, Texas, but it does serve parts of Allen and Fairview. Allen and Fairview are going to be a little bit more affordable. Lucas has a higher average price point of about 1.1, so you're getting a lot of land over in Lucas. So I've seen a lot of new construction, really big properties. So you got land opportunity out there, and of course you've got really great schools. So if those two things are things you're looking at, then Lucas is one that I would highly recommend to you. You're also a little bit further out, so you can get to 75 pretty quickly, which is great, but you're a little bit more out in the country feeling, a little bit further removed, a little secluded. And of course the ISD is smaller, so if that kind of speaks to you, then I would highly suggest looking at Lucas. I've actually made a separate video on Lucas and Allen if you want to check either of those out. So I would say prices in this district are kind of going to range between $400,000 all the way to $4 million. You'll see the $4 million mark closer to Lucas. $400,000 you'll probably find closer to Allen and Fairview. Now, as promised, I'm going to take you through the last of this list. So this is 6 through number 10 of the top 10 school ISDs in the DFW area for 2024. Number 6 on this list is Highland Park ISD. You may be familiar with Highland Park. It is a very, very popular and esteemed neighborhood in the Dallas area. But what you may not know is it's actually its own municipality. So it is not just a neighborhood, which I think a lot of people think. It's its own little thing. It's its own little city, Highland Park. So it's got a fantastic ISD, very hard to get into, very exclusive. So if you are someone who is wanting to be very, very close to Dallas, you've got the budget to get into Highland Park. I mean, it's practically like going to private school, but being in public school. And the community is very, very involved. So the moms are very involved, families are very involved, because it's a very small and tight community down there in Highland Park anyway. Next on the list, number 7 is gonna be Argyle ISD. So that is serving Flower Mound. Number 8 is gonna be Frisco ISD, which is serving Frisco. This is a really popular one. I think a lot of you will maybe be surprised that it wasn't ranked higher on this list, but I think Frisco has a lot of hype, right? Like Frisco has a lot of hype because you have so much new development here. Schools are great. I mean, I am not gonna lie, the schools in Frisco are great, but I think there's other ISDs in DFW that maybe people miss because they just get laser focused on Frisco. So just, kind of good to know, maybe gives you some more perspective, maybe some other areas to look at if you've only been looking at Frisco, but it is definitely on up there. It's a great, great district. So Frisco is number 8. Number 9 is gonna be Wiley ISD. This is serving Wiley on that eastern side, closer to Saxe. But it's a good one too. There's a lot of new construction opportunity in Wiley just because it's a newer suburb. And last but not least, you've got Prosper ISD. Prosper is a very popular ISD. I feel like it runs just like Frisco. There's a lot of hype around Frisco and Prosper just because you have so many new construction opportunities, so much development going on in both of these areas. So Prosper is number 10 on the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Maybe opened your eyes to some new ISDs around the DFW area that you can look into. And you know, like I said in the beginning, I love niche.com. I think they're really great. Greatschools.org is another really good one to check out school ratings. You can get into the weeds here. So you can scroll down on greatschools.org and really understand the demographics, the test ratings, all the things that you want to be looking at with these schools. So if that's what you're interested in, I'm going to link both of those down below so you can take a look. And if you think I missed one, or if you were surprised about any of these ratings, give me a comment down below. And of course, if you are looking to house hunt in any of these ISDs and you'd like some help with this, I would love, love, love to help you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Reach out if you are looking to house hunt via call, text, email, whatever your preference. And I will see you guys on the next video.